One Doctor gives you national prefixed prices with no call-out or overtime charges 24 hours, 365 days a year. Drain Doctor. Emergency plumbing and drainage. As quick as a wink. The Doctor will see you now. Drain Doctor. Proud sponsors of How to Start Your Own Business.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of How to Start Your Own Business. As usual, we'll be hearing from the British Franchise Association, the only voluntary self-regulatory body for the UK franchise industry, and visiting another two businesses who are accredited BFA members with a proven trading and franchising record. Firstly, Brian Smart of the British Franchise Association explains exactly how the BFA provides support to its members.
The BFA's principal support to its members is the accreditation service that we run, the way in which we investigate what they do and how they're structured and how fairly they operate with their franchisees, so that we give them a kite mark of good practice that they can use in the marketplace. And that's our primary tool. Behind that, we're also very good at making sure that franchisors are sharing good practice amongst themselves in just the same way that they're sharing their proven practice amongst their franchisees. So we organise all sorts of technical and specialist seminars. We have regular get-togethers where franchisors can share their information, share their know-how, pick up on ways of solving problems in franchise networks which other franchisors have devised. The industry is really quite fast moving. Over my time in the industry, which does extend to more than 20 years, but nonetheless, in business change is not that fast. But we've seen huge changes in the way in which businesses manage franchisees, in the way in which they involve them in the development of the business, involve franchisees in deciding what the next product lines are going to be, what different sales techniques are going to be effective in getting that product or service to the marketplace. Franchising has become a much more professional, a much more grown-up business than it was 20 years ago when I started. And I think that that's reflected in the success rates of the industry, in its penetration across market sectors, in its capacity to go international. There's so much that we should be celebrating about the way in which franchising has grown in the UK.
We recently spent a day with Little Kickers, a fun-filled football programme. Co-founder Christine Stanches tells us more.
Little Kickers was first set up in the UK 10 years ago in London, and since then it's grown into an internationally franchised business. We operate in a network through a network of 160 franchisees across 4 continents, and the main objective of our classes is to provide children aged 18 months to 7th birthday with a positive introduction to sport, and in addition to that, to provide them education in the basics of football, and also to teach them some colours and numbers and early learning skills and promote early childhood development. There were a number of reasons as to why we decided to franchise Little Kickers. The first one was that we were receiving a lot of demand for us to open classes in new areas, and I couldn't physically open any more classes. So franchising seemed a really good way of developing the business, because we would be able to expand through a group of owner-operated outlets. In that way, we could make sure that the people who were involved in the business were as passionate and as committed to the quality of the classes as we were. The other main thing that influenced the decision to franchise was that when I returned to work 3 months after my first child was born, I really struggled with the whole work-life balance thing. I hardly ever got to see my son and got really fed up with that. And so I recognised that there were other people who were in the same position as me, and that there was a gap in the market for a company that would enable people to set up their own self-run businesses and be their own bosses. And at the same time to have something that's profitable, that provides an income for the family, and also allows them to have that work-life balance and to see their children as they're growing up.
For me, it was all about the opportunity to work with children on a daily basis and doing something I absolutely love, but running a business at the same time and earning a living from it, it was really appealing to me. And it's just getting the amount of enjoyment, the most amount of enjoyment I can get out of it.
Little Kickers has been recruiting franchisees for 9 years. We've also launched other programs. We've launched a preschool rugby program called Little Rugby, and that's for the same age group as Little Kickers. And we've been recruiting franchisees for that for the last 3 years. And we've just finished piloting a dance program called Little Dance Flavors, and we're just recruiting franchisees for that now. We operate through a network of over 160 franchisees across 4 continents, and our classes are attended by over 20,000 children each week. So we run classes at the moment in predominantly the UK, that's where 60% of our business is based, but also Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Cyprus and Ecuador. Taking on a franchise provides people with the opportunity to buy into a tried and tested business model that's actually been practically worked in the market and set up in the market, and it's been shown to be successful. I think that's a huge benefit of buying into a franchise model. Also, the fact that you don't have to become an expert in legal, financial, operation aspects of running a business. Your franchisor will have done that for you, and they will give you all the training you need in those areas and all the support that you need on an ongoing basis, rather than you having to go out and do all the legwork yourself.
The training and everything, the support that we've received, that I've received from Little Kickers head office since taking on the franchise, has been really comprehensive and consistent. So from the moment I started, the training beforehand was really detailed and specific, which was great for someone like me with no experience in business, not really a business background. I just graduated from university, so to have that training to start with was fantastic. And then going forward, if there's ever an issue, it could be anything, but it's resolved very quickly, and they're always a phone call away or an email away, and you know within a few hours the issue will be sorted. So that's the great thing about franchising with Little Kickers.
The other key benefit of buying a franchise is that it enables you to be your own boss, but rather than as in a startup company where you may be kind of short of cash in certain areas and find it hard to develop certain aspects of your business as much as you would like to. With a franchise business, you benefit from the fact that there's pooled resources, and so the franchisor will be taking management fees from all the other franchisees and will be using those to develop a really large scale business. So you benefit from group IT spending, you benefit from discounts that the franchisor can negotiate with suppliers and so on.
Typical day in the life of a franchisee for myself involves doing classes most days, because I really enjoy the coaching side of it, so I always want to keep doing that. So usually every day I do, it might just be the odd class, or it might be a set of 4 classes with the different age groups. And then also you've got all of the admin side as well. So I speak to a lot of parents in a typical day, and we go through all if there's ever a problem or anything like that, because every child is different, so we have to make sure that we can look after everyone as best as possible. And then also you've got the business side as well, so you're looking at advertising, and you're looking at making sure that everything's really organised. It's really fundamental. Every day you're planning for the next week or the week after that, because you've got to make sure that everything is as smooth as possible and as consistent as possible.
There are 4 key areas of support that we offer to franchisees. The first is training and support in the business aspects of running the business. So we provide every franchisee with very comprehensive upfront training on finding coaches, finding venues, interviewing people, IT, finance and so on. And on an ongoing basis, we have a head office resource that's staffed by a number of ex-franchisees who now run different disciplines involved with the business, for example, marketing, sales, finance, IT, and so on. So they're always on hand to help our franchisees if they have any questions. Other aspects of support that we offer, the second would be coaching support. So obviously that's critical to the success of our business, is that our program is good quality and is continuously renewed and updated and kept fresh. So we have directors of coaching located in the countries where we operate, and their main role is to develop the program and to travel around our franchisees in those locations and to check that the program quality is good, and to provide kind of on hand training to the franchisees' coaches while they're actually coaching the classes. The third main area that we provide support in is IT related aspects of running a business. So we recognise that it's quite an administrative business. We have lots of children attending classes and they all need to be registered into those classes and reminded when they need to re-enroll. What we've done is set up an IT system which is web-based, so our franchisees can use it from anywhere in the world, and it enables them to allow their customers to sign up online, and the franchisees then contact the customers. They're prompted to and send re-enrollment forms electronically whenever the children are due to re-enroll. We also have a marketing system which enables franchisees to produce their own customised marketing materials and adverts and things like that, and that's all web-based as well.
When I did graduate from university, I was thinking about starting my own sort of football classes or sports classes for children of different age groups. But then the opportunity came along with Little Kickers, and I hadn't really looked into franchising at all, really, after graduating and going off to the States. Coming back, there was no real thought in my mind of going into franchising at all. But the opportunity was there, and I started to look into it. And with Little Kickers, what they did, they could offer a great support, which gives you more flexibility to do the things that you enjoy. So to be at the classes and everything else, you don't have to go out and start completely from scratch. It's a great thing for a younger person to go into, because as well as doing something you love, you also get to learn a lot along the way. So it's great, franchising is great because you get a lot of training and you learn a lot about business and marketing and all sorts of things, as well as doing something that you really enjoy.
Franchising is a business system which not only does it not suit every kind of person as a franchisee, it doesn't suit every kind of business as a franchisor. There are some businesses which aren't suitable for franchising. You can't franchise the Tower of London. There is only one of them. That's the end of the story. You can't franchise a business if you are a total autocratic control freak. There are businesses which run brilliantly under the auspices of the people who like to control every single thing. That's not how franchising works. There is a very real delegation of responsibility and authority and capacity to the franchisees who run the outlets in a network. And a franchisor has to be capable of policing and supporting and controlling standards across the network, whilst at the same time respecting the independent business ownership of the franchisees who work within the network. And that's not an easy trick for some franchisors or potential franchisors to pull off. So at the franchisee end of the game, you need to be someone who's prepared to follow a system. At the franchisor end of the game, you need to be someone who is capable of working in a partnership with your independent franchise owners.
In part 2, we'll be hearing from Water Babies. See you in a moment.
Choosing a plumber should never be a gamble. Call Drain Doctor, and it won't be.
Taking on a franchise is a big step, and one you should only take once you've thoroughly researched what's really involved. British Franchise Association accredited exhibitions are your perfect opportunity to speak with experts, hear from franchisors, and gain from free educational seminars. Visit thebfa.org for all upcoming exhibition dates and access to free tickets.
Attended by over 20,000 preschoolers around the world, Little Kickers classes set a new standard in childhood education. Football skills, balance, agility, coordination and social skills, such as following instructions, taking turns and sharing, are interwoven into an engaging programme. Of course, the children who participate have no idea that they're developing great new skills, while they get involved in fun games which fire their imaginations. To them, it's just the highlight of their week.
There's a national plumber that charges you the same rate with no call-out cost. Day or night? Drain Doctor.
Teaching water confidence and safety from birth, the multi-award-winning Water Babies programme is designed to make the most of babies' natural affinity with water. With a clear emphasis on fun, lessons are sociable and perfect for strengthening the bond between you and your baby. Visit our website now to find your nearest class.
The doctor will see you now.
Hello and welcome back. Teaching your baby to swim is a core skill that can potentially save their life. Water Babies tells us more about their lessons and franchise opportunities.
Water Babies is a specialist swim school. We teach children from 0 to 4, but the thing that we have a great reputation for and our specialty is under 1 swimming, so real baby swimming. And indeed our youngest ever client was 2 days old. We have many of our clients who started a week old. So when I say baby swimming, I mean really young babies. And what we're good at doing and what we focus on is, in the first instance, is teaching water confidence and then ultimately learning to swim. We don't force swimming, it's not an Olympic swimming program. So our children learn to swim when they're ready. We go at their pace and their time, which is something else we have a very strong reputation for. But because our children come regularly and it is a very structured course, by the age of around 2.5, most of them are swimming, and that's quite an extraordinary age to be able to swim. But our primary focus, as I said, is teaching water confidence. And in fact, in the last 2 years, we know of 4 cases where children who had been on Water Babies programs have fallen into canal swimming pools and actually survived. They've actually looked after themselves through the skills that we've taught them. So that's really special. So it's water confidence first, swimming later. But the other big thing we have a reputation for is actually developing the bond between the parent and the child, which is something that people don't even think about in terms of what we do. But if you think, parents come, brand new parents, we've all been there, lots of us have been there. I've got this little bundle, a few weeks old, and I turn up to my first swimming lessons with half a carload of equipment as well, because I'm completely nervous. And 10 weeks later, we've taken this very nervous parent to a confident parent, because on our program, on the very first week, they're going to hand this bundle to a complete stranger wearing a blue top who's going to take them off them and stick them under the water. And what is special for us is, and what's unique for us, is actually the age in which we start. As I say, our youngest was 2 days old, so you really do start from a very, very young age. So brand new babies. Very, very, very few organisations do that. Most swimming starts much, much older. In fact, most swimming in this country starts when children actually go to school. So we actually start preschool, very young. And we teach underwater skills as well as surface skills, confidence skills. So we take very, very young babies, brand new babies, and we put them under the water in a very gentle but systemised way to start building up that water confidence. Also, our programme gives children a great deal of developmental skills as well, so physical development through what they do with us, and so it's a really specialist programme.
We've known each other since we were 11, since high school, so a very long time. I had a baby who was 6 months old. At the time I took him to Water Babies lessons and absolutely loved it, but the lady that owned the franchise in Bolton decided to approach me and see if I wanted to become a swim teacher, which I'd never have in a million years have thought of previously, but loved it and trained up, and decided at the time I was training that I'd love to, found out there was an opportunity to buy a franchise in my hometown, and then Lucy came
to see Hannah. I went to see her up in up north, and I went to see her lessons, and I thought it was really nice. It was a lovely thing to get into, to be able to teach babies to swim and parents. And I approached Hannah to ask her if she wanted to go into it together, and she said yes. We jumped at the chance, really. It's really good, and it's been really good ever since.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to share the workload for me, especially being a mum of a young child at the time, and Lucy didn't at that time have children. Yeah. For me, it was definitely a no-brainer, because we've been able to develop the business together, and knowing each other as we do so well, it's worked really well for us.
I think because of that time as well that we've known each other, that it's laid down kind of our foundations. Yeah. We've both got very good work ethics, so it's just gone from strength to strength, really.
We've got 43 franchisees. We are adding more franchises, so by September we'll be up to 52. Our franchises, some of our franchisees own 2 territories, so we have actually something like 58 franchise territories that we could have in the United Kingdom, and we've only got 1 left. So they're all gone. If anybody wants to buy Cumbria, give me a call. So we've only got 1 left. We're now in Ireland as well. We've expanded there, and we have 4 franchises in Ireland. We will do again by the end of the year. And we have a sort of license arrangement with one of our franchisees, a small franchise in Sydney in Australia. So we are sort of global. Global's a bit over the top, we're spreading. And we get an awful lot of inquiries from around the world as well. So yeah, a lot of franchises now.
And for me, a typical day might be teaching in the pool. We still teach some of our lessons, although we're not doing all the teaching now. Followed by getting in the car, whizzing over to the office, dealing with client emails, managing any. We've got an amazing staff that work in the office, admin team, going through things with them, and maybe interviewing a new potential instructor, and then going on to see a new venue that we're looking to hire for our swimming lessons. And I just think that if you're going to franchising, then you have all that help, that invaluable support of a network, and also your head office, your franchisor, sort of hand holding you through it all the way, really. So
I think I just felt more comfortable with it. The risk side of things, going out there. If we went out there on our own, it would have probably been a bit more scarier. So I think I just felt a bit more comfortable with it all, I think.
Plus what we were going into was completely new for us, and we wouldn't have necessarily thought, I'm going to start a business up and it's going to be baby swimming, but because I was passionate about the brand, I was passionate about the lessons I was attending with my own son, I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
We're unique actually. We have grown completely organically. Very few people who are Water Babies franchisee have come from the outside, outside of what we call the family. So we've grown mainly through our client base and our teachers becoming franchisees, and that's actually quite unique. We don't openly advertise to become a Water Babies franchise. That's because we're looking for a very particular type of person. So our huge growth, we're the biggest baby swimming company in the world now, is totally organic, which is something very special. We look for very high caliber people. That doesn't mean you have to have a degree or come from a great profession. Caliber for us is about your personality. We are totally people driven. I very much believe in people trying to excel. I think we live in a society often where people are held back, told that they can't achieve. And our franchise model is based on completely the opposite of that. Try and come in, excel. So a lot of our franchisees were teachers or administrators, and they now own very big successful franchise businesses. So we're looking for people who have something about them, something special, a bit of backbone, who want to actually go for it, maybe a bit scared to go for it. And that's what we're looking for, and we can nurture that person to become a franchisee. So our requirements as a franchisor and for what we do are very different to many franchise businesses because of what we're about. We find that one of the reasons we've grown so quickly is that actually people get that and are very encouraged to come and talk to us. And we have a reputation in the world of franchising for being incredibly supportive. Water Babies is run as one big family. We are a network of family-run businesses. So I don't see my franchisees as another number. They are Helen or Bill or Fred or Susie. And if I go and see them, I stay in their house. We cook tea, I'll bath their kids, they'll stay at my house. It's that kind of relationship. And we take that really seriously. So that kind of very nurturing, people-centric, friendly family feel suits an awful lot of people. They feel very drawn to that. And that's why we attract people. And that's seen us grow very, very rapidly. We do business within that. That all sounds very fluffy, but we do business, and like lots of families, we have our moments. So, balancing those two things is very difficult, those sort of relate business and that family-friendly feel. But I think we do it really well, and people get that. My phone is on 24/7 as a franchisor, and I speak to my franchisees all the time about everything. And I think that level of support, which comes all the way through Water Babies, is something that people really, really value.
It's the work-life balance and being able to be comfortable, but with the flexibility of being able to be at home with your children, work around that. I don't think many people in a 9-to-5 job have that opportunity. We do have downtime as well when we're not teaching our lessons in the holidays. So again, fits in really well with young children. But yeah, I think we're really happy with how we've done, and we just hope it continues. We just want to maintain it at a good level, a good, standard.
I think that's the key, really, isn't it? Happiness. You have said that. We are quite happy with what we're doing.
Because you work for yourself, ultimately it's your own business, albeit it's a franchise business. You do put in that hard work because you see it grow and it's yours, so that's what's definitely been the driving force for us, and the fact that we've been able to bounce off each other and get in.
Yeah, and also what we're doing, I think we're not doing something that's not interesting. We're teaching parents to teach their babies and toddlers how to swim. It's a life skill. It's the most important thing for us really at the moment. So we're really kind of
to be able to do
proud of that as well, and quite passionate about the whole thing. So getting those babies in the water, getting them confident.
The issues that franchisors have for the most part in running their network are franchisees who don't follow the system, who decide once they've got through the early stages of getting their business up and running, that they know better than anybody else how the thing should be run. They will start investing in different promotional systems, which the franchisor has already tested and knows doesn't work. All sorts of things which are just not going to be a successful way of running the business. It's not difficult to get people through that stage because the evidence is so obvious to the franchisees that what they're doing isn't working. But keeping people to a system is one of the most difficult jobs that franchisors do. And it's about communication all the time within a franchise network. It's the sort of thing which in a corporate business everybody ought to be doing, i.e. talking to their staff and keeping them engaged in the business, but which mostly doesn't happen. In franchising, it's got to happen, but I wouldn't say it's easy.
We hope you enjoyed watching today's episode. We'll be back next week to explore different franchise opportunities within other sectors. Bye for now.